So does a can of Coke float in water or sink in water? Well, what determines if something floats or sinks? It's its density. And so if this can of Coke is more dense than water, it will sink. And if it is less dense, it will float. So let's see what happens. This is a Diet Coke can. Bouncing around, but clearly floating. And now a regular Coke can. So it's sinking. So why are these two so different? Well, the regular can of Coke has a lot of sugar in it, right? And that makes it heavier and more dense. They're the same volume. Okay. The Diet Coke can has sugar substitute, just a tiny amount of it. And so it's basically water. Now you may be wondering, well, if it's water, shouldn't it have the same density or a little bit greater density because there's aluminum around the can? Well, there's some head space, right? There's some free space in here that also changes its volume, increases its volume. So density, we know, is mass divided by volume. And so what I did is I weighed these, the regular Coke and the Diet Coke. And the Diet Coke weighed 367.9 grams. And the regular weighed 384.5. Okay, so we know our mass. And then for volume, there's a couple of ways you could do this. You can measure by displacement in water in a graduated cylinder. I just approximated it as a cylinder. And so I know the volume of the cylinder is pi r squared h. Okay, radius times its height. And then I just took a ruler and I approximated the radius as 3.25 centimeters, the height is 11.5 centimeters. And so plug this in for V. Density equals m over pi r squared h. And so if you plug in these different numbers, this is for the Diet, 397.9 grams over pi 3.25 squared, 11.5 centimeters. That comes out to 0.96 grams per milliliter. So this is for the Diet. Okay. So that is less than the density of water. Density of water is 1 gram per milliliter at room temperature approximately. And so that's why the Diet can Coke floats. If you do the same math, but just plugging in 384.5 grams for the regular, you get that the density is 1.01 grams per milliliter. So slightly more dense than water, which is why it sinks.